You're going to have a holiday party in your office? Are you a boss, owner? Ted Anderson's going to join me and Cindy now. All right. Hi, Ted. Is your middle name Mr. Scrooge by chance?
Morning, Tony. No, it's not Mr. Scrooge.
It's Mr. Reality, isn't it? You are an employment attorney. We appreciate your time. Actually, it's going to be some really good information for folks to know. And holiday parties, we're seeing fewer of them by a lot of companies. Maybe you have the reasons as to why, huh?
Well, yes, the holiday season is a fun season for everybody, and a lot of times it means the holiday party at the office. But employers need to be careful for a number of things. They need to be aware that there could be drunk driving and possible motor vehicle accidents. They need to be aware that there could be workers' compensation for falls and injuries. There could be discrimination claims. There could be premises liability claims, and there could be underage drinking claims.
Gotcha.
Yikes. Sounds like you shouldn't even have a party.
Well, some employers choose not to have parties for that very reason, but I think so long as you are prepared in advance and you kind of look forward to the potential consequences, holiday party is great for everyone.
Okay, so let's talk about a few of the things that you need to plan for when you're hosting a holiday party at the office.
Well, one of the things you need to determine is the location for the party. If you truly want to avoid a situation where there might be alcohol-related injury, a lot of times you want to have it off-premises at an appropriate place, not a nightclub, but perhaps a restaurant. And you need to make the employees understand that it's not mandatory that they attend it and that there's no business purpose, so that the employer isn't really liable for what we call respondeat superior liability, or responsible for any drinking that goes on the premises. On top of that, you might choose, if you're going to serve alcohol, serve wine and beer. Don't serve hard liquor. Make sure you have professional bartenders that are there that can monitor and make sure that nobody gets overserved under the circumstances. And then you might want to make sure that you have in place arrangements for people to get home safely if they do have too much to drink. Either have cab money or some kind of cab fare available for people if they want to get driven, or you might have some employees that agree to be designated drivers, give them a gift card or some kind of reward for doing that, and then they can drive anybody home under the circumstances.
I was looking at LegalZoom.com, and another issue that they raise is sexual harassment. Sometimes alcohol gets involved with that, but also they even suggest having a dress code. Do you agree with that?
I do. A lot of times people use parties as an opportunity to dress differently that they normally would in the workplace. Nighttime attire, cocktail attire might not be appropriate for the workplace, and so people need to be aware that all the dress codes that are normally enforced at the office or at the business will be enforced at the holiday party as well.
Well, Ted, it sounds to me like you've come across some radio people in your career.
What? Yeah.
Because we prove that mixed drinks and mistletoe just really don't go together very well.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me, and the radio people wouldn't be the first people that fall victim to that situation. You need to be aware that the mistletoe, for instance, is not appropriate under the circumstances, and people need to be aware that when you serve alcohol, sometimes they lose their inhibitions, and things may happen under the circumstances, and that's why employers need to be out front on these things, and a lot of times should communicate to the employees in advance that there'll be limited alcohol served. I know some businesses, if they are going to serve alcohol, they just give employees tickets. They get 2 tickets, which means they get 2 drinks, and that's it.
Yeah. I know that I think we're all in agreement here that personal responsibility is a big part of this issue. However, is this, instead of just keeping up with appearances, in other words, trying to avoid a lawsuit, what's the best protections you can have aside from not having a party to make sure it doesn't happen, or at least where you're going to be covered should you wind up in court?
Well, again, you need to behave reasonably under the circumstances, and you need to do things to protect against the worst case scenario. So, like I said, if you are going to have a holiday party, Make sure that it's a neutral site or location that is appropriate under the circumstances. If you have it at a nightclub or at a bar, that's just going to encourage people to drink to excess. So if you have it at a restaurant and you have professional bartenders that are there, and then you make arrangements for people to get home safely if they've had too much to drink, either through some kind of paying for some kind of a shuttle service or taxi service, or just having other employees that will volunteer to drive under the circumstances and give them some rewards for doing that, you should be okay.
All right. Good to talk to you, Ted. Thanks for your time this morning.
Good morning, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too.